Well, that was a pretty long night. Mild, but everything else was disturbing. There was that branch that fell on the tent that just set me on edge. And the call of nature woke me in the middle of the night, and then again this morning. Undeniable call. I may not have boiled the lake water enough yesterday for my tea at night. And I can hear the train again all the time right now. But again, I think it's like 10 kilometers to the south. And my sleeping bag, I just can't sleep on it anymore. I really should have got a better one for this much sleeping and camping. So, I suppose these are good things because it makes leaving today a bit easier. These are all the things that make you appreciate the comforts of civilization. So, maybe it's good. We got coffee boiling there and water for granola with milk and bananas. Should be good. And I gotta get packed up ASAP and get moving because I got a lot of ground to cover today to get back to the car. It's a good thing it didn't rain last night. That branch, I'm assuming this one that fell onto the tent, this tiny branch. But from way up high, I guess it accumulates a bit of momentum. Still, it's crazy. I can't believe if it was that little branch that it punctured my tent. I've never had a tent punctured before. This Eureka tent has withstood a lot, including getting, I had it set up one time and there were these gale winds and it was literally flattened by the wind. One of the poles bent a little bit, but it still works fine. So that's too bad, but yeah, good thing it didn't rain. Good thing I'm heading out today because it's about to start raining. Up until this point, I haven't really had a proper map for the route, but I do for the Magnetewan River canoe route. Can't remember who made this, but they did a nice job. Doesn't look as good in black and white, but it's a nice map. Anyway, I was going to come out around here and then head south down this way. It's amazing, as I was saying, how many routes there are. Come back through a series of lakes and back to the access on Wawashkesh. But I don't have enough time to do that. That would have been if I had a 7-day trip, but this is 5 because of the weather. So I'm coming back this way, which I didn't want to do because of that. 2285, I think, that portage, 2,285 meters. So that's really long. I think that's the longest one I've ever done. So gotta get to it. Literally just as I set out in the canoe, the rain starts coming down harder. Yeah, this is going to be a long day. It's really coming down. Well, Sinclair Lake was really beautiful. I'm sad to have so little time on it and to not have more time to fish, especially. No big pike, but the Magnetewan River definitely has some big pike in it, so still a shot of a grand finale to this 93rd day of camping this year. I was getting worried that this is going to be another tough portage to locate, but tucked away in a bay around the corner, there's an obvious boat cache and even a little dock, so this might be not too bad. Alright, here's the river. Portage trail goes past this big camp. Good trail though. The river is pretty nice, but there's a bit of a headwind and that's whipping the drizzle into my face. But like I was saying, this makes it a little bit easier to leave today on the last day. And whoa, almost lost another camera. And really, as much as a huge fish or an aurora or something epic would have been the perfect finale for this trip, really this is the most fitting end of the trip. Backcountry is not always easy, and this is a perfect example. 2,200 meter portage coming up in a, I don't know, probably a couple hours paddle with the headwind. Makes for a perfect last day. Just about to enter Trout Lake, which is a widening of the river. The river continues after it. And there's actually a fair bit of current here. I'm going upstream on the river, but so far there's been no noticeable current. But because there's this current here and there's this narrow channel leading into the lake, it's a good place to fish. And fish, if they're positioned in current, they're always going to be facing upstream. So you want your bait to come downstream and meet them and be visible as it's coming toward them. If your bait's going upstream, it's going to go over them from behind, and it's just better, it's more natural. It's how they naturally would feed, is catching bait as it's coming downstream. So that's the approach I'm going to take here, see if I can get anything. Fish on. Wow. Just had a good fish on, lost it turning on the camera. Upset. Second good hit I've missed. The first one didn't get a hook. This one, I think it did have a hook, but I let way too much slack go as I was trying to turn on the camera. Should probably just catch the fish and then show it. That would be smart. I've arrived at a waterfall. Of course there's fish, there's at least one fish here. Don't even care about sliming my gloves today, they're a mess. They're soaked. I'm soaked. Rain jacket's barely holding up. Oh, look at that. Good old paddle tail. I'm at the first set of rapids, and that means the start of the portage. It's right around, back around the corner there. There's an old cabin and a little portage sign. Hopefully it's a good portage, or it's going to be long. I am very wet, kind of cold, and I don't have any food to eat quickly aside from chocolate and nuts. I don't have a proper lunch, so I'm starting to feel a little bit miserable. I think a little white water will get my blood pumping again. I'm just going to tuck into the side of it here and get a quick run. It's actually really powerful. Look at this. Way beyond my skill level. But I'll just tuck in right here, have a little fun. So stupid. Woohoo! Yep, that's just what I needed. Alright, onto the portage, it's right there. So far so good. It's a wide open ATV trail, and aside from some massive puddles, which are quite beautiful, everything's good here. The elevation changes are gradual and not very significant anyway. But I'm only a quarter of the way done. Well, not even. I've taken one load, my gear, a quarter of the way. Now to go back for the canoe, I'm going to pace myself and break this up into 4 sections of about 600 meters each. I mean, one 600 meter portage is decent. 2, 3, and even 4 is a lot, so I'm just trying to pace myself and take it easy with some breaks in between by going back for the gear at intervals. Definitely can't wait for a hot meal on the way home. I think it's around 2 o'clock now, and I bet I won't be out at the car till 6. So get to Prairie Sound by 7 and eat, gorge. It's a nice bridge here for the ATVs and snowmobiles, I guess. I've been thinking about it, and you know how nature has interesting ways of speaking to you? Well, right now, end of season, I'm like, baby, I don't want to leave you. I love you. And nature, by giving me this crappy day, is like, shh. Just go. Just go. Given how much time I have to do this portage, which will take, I don't know, a good hour and a half, I'm just thinking back on everything that's happened this year, and there's been so much amazing stuff. A lot of weird days. Those rainy days like today, they bring out something in me. Hey Lou, give me 2 things of scotch. This is a pretty serious ATV trail. I've never seen so much road signage. I don't know where they would be turning left. It's a forest. And I've never seen anything like this on a portage trail. No heavy trucks. I mean, some of it's open, but I'd like to see a truck get through there. Whew. Finally behind me. Almost 2 hours. 7,150 meters in total distance because of the double carry. Still a pretty good paddle back to the car, so it's not over yet. Well, 6 months ago, I decided to record my first trip of the season on a whim, just to see if it was fun. And turned out it was a lot of fun. 93 days later, I have so many memories to look back on and share. And that's been a huge part of this. As a soloist, the one thing you're always missing is someone to share the moments with. And by doing these videos and sharing them on YouTube, I found that to be a really fun way to share the trip with someone, you know, albeit later, and
maybe not someone I know, but still, just to be able to post it and share it with people who share this passion has really brought me a lot of joy this season. So anyone who's taken the time to watch this year, I really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to fixing my camera and recording lots more next season. And until then, you know, maybe I'll get a job or something.